Who doesn't love enjoying a nice warm beverage around the campfire on a backpacking, camping, or hiking trip? So several months ago, I went out and purchased 3 lightweight polymer coffee mugs that you would take backpacking or camping. One from Sea to Summit, one from MSR, and one from GSI Outdoors. So obviously a really important factor is the price. So we're gonna hit price point with you. We'll have links in the description below over to Amazon. When you guys use those hyperlinks, that's a great way to help support the channel, helps me get out here, buy items just like these 3. I bought all 3 of these mugs myself so I can give you guys these full comprehensive videos and help you guys spend your hard-earned money wisely. So thank you for using those hyperlinks that we offer you. So kicking this off, we got the Sea to Summit as the most expensive one, running in at about $17. It's got that lightweight plastic. It's gonna come with kind of a neoprene style cozy, kind of feels like a wetsuit almost. That kind of helps to retain some of the heat, give you a little bit of texture to grab onto. And then it's got this little piece of paracord and the lid. Now the lid doesn't like latch on, it just kind of sits on. You just kind of press it in, and then you do have your little escape, valve, and then your normal pour spout, and then you just pull that thing off like that. So this will hold 16 ounces as well, so 2 cups of fluid. Next up, the MSR is going to run you about $12, just kind of depends. That's what I paid for it on Amazon. And what this is going to have is a hard kind of polymer body to it. It seems to be the most insulated, so we'll see how that all plays out. It's got kind of a hard lid to pry open. It's not the easiest if you have fluid in here and then you want to take it off to let your coffee breathe, maybe let the temperature fall a little bit if it's too hot for you. You got to be kind of careful because it's really secure, really snug in there, which is a nice thing. It's not just going to fall off. It's definitely a tighter fit than on the Sea to Summit that we just looked at. It's got a very dense insulated frame, so we're going to see how this handles the temperature. And this is going to be 10.2 fluid ounces. So this is going to be the smallest of the 3 that we're looking at today, only able to hold 10. This also has an interesting body shape to it, and it's designed to lay sideways in some of their larger pots. And then again, boom, you just snap that lid back on. You got your nice little valve here and a good pour spout. Good grip, good texture. It's not super slick or anything, so you'll be able to hold this in your hand while you're drinking without too much difficulty and worrying about dropping it and spilling your precious warm beverage all over the place. The GSI is going to come in at the most inexpensive, about $10. They have lots of different color combinations, just like all of these will have a lot of different color combinations. This one's a little different and a little interesting to me. Not only do you have your normal lid here, and the nice thing is out of all 3, this is going to be the only one that actually has like a closed lid so it won't spill as easily. Now, if I turn it upside down, it's still going to leak out of some of the valve portions of it. But, if you knock it over, it's not just going to start spraying all over the place like the other 2 will. So it is nice, and it will help. That will help with some heat retention as well, just offering that little piece right there. Then you have a nylon style kind of cozy that goes all the way around the entire bottle or cup, and then you got this nylon strap right here, which is kind of cool. You can throw a carabiner through there, let it bounce around on the outside of your pack or something, and this is totally removable, and then you just have that polymer sleeve. Basically that's where your material or your drink is going to go into, so that just kind of all fits back together. The only downside that I would hit with this is that if you miss, or you're pouring water or you're rinsing and the nylon gets wet or the strap gets wet, it tends to take about an hour for it to dry out completely. So you kind of got like a wet handle that you're holding onto or a wet body. So that is what I would say is the only immediate design drawback that I see with this design on the GSI. Now, the reason that I picked these 3 is that they're lightweight, they're under $20, and they would be definitely something that I would take on like a multi-day backpacking trip, or if I'm day hiking and I'm gonna do some bushcrafting and just, wanna build a fire and have some coffee and use a French press or something like that, or a pour over, and I don't wanna be carrying like a really heavy insulated metal cup. These things are lightweight, they're obviously oftentimes stackable, and just really make it conducive to not only save on space, but also to save on weight. So the first thing I wanted to test out was its thermodynamics of these 3 mugs. Which one would hold the heat in and retain the heat the longest, and which one would lose heat the quickest. So what we did was I took a coffee pot so that all the temperatures would be exactly the same, filled them up exactly the same height, exact same amount of ounces, and then let them sit for a period of time, and then stuck the thermometer back in to see which one lost the most heat and which one retained the most heat. So let's go ahead and see what happened here.
120.9, 124.9, 126.1. Boom, the MSR wins.
So here's our winner, the MSR. Cool to see the MSR is still at the top of their game and producing something that's gonna hold the heat in and retain the heat the most out of all three that we're looking at here today. So that's the winner when it comes to heat. You know, for you have to decide, is not only the design something you're willing to work with, you know, being somewhat unique, and definitely has to work with MSR's other products like their pots and the 10 ounces. You know, if you tend to like more than 10 ounces of your warm beverage, then you're going to be having to refill this thing a lot. So those are the two things that you need to consider. But when it comes to heat and kind of middle of the price range, the MSR is the winner in this video. This just goes to show that just because they're charging the most doesn't mean that a product is always the best. This one lost the most heat the quickest. So that's kind of disappointing to see Sea to Summit. I love Sea to Summit. I use tons of their products for all kinds of different things. This one just wasn't really it at $17. It's gonna lose heat the fastest. And it, for me, doesn't have the most secure lid. It's just like barely you touch it and it comes right off. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a secure lid system. And for me, the GSI is kind of like the middle ground. It's the jack of all trades. It's gonna hold heat better than the Sea to Summit, but not as good as the MSR. It's going to have that, you know, handle right here. It's going to be 16 ounces, which is a big plus, and it's going to be the cheapest. So out of all three, even though the MSR is the one that would hold the best temperature and keep things the warmest, if I had to choose from all three, I would actually go with the GSI because it's going to be the cheapest for me. It's the most natural mug, you know, design. I do have a handle, so I'm not really worried about it dropping. The only drawback being that this nylon body, when it gets wet, will retain the moisture longer than the other two. The other two are polymer and they just, you know, wipe right off, and it's not a big deal. This one will hold that moisture in a little bit longer. So if you're really clumsy with your liquids, maybe this isn't the right one for you, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to pay. So there you have it, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this quick video as we've checked out these three lightweight polymer style mugs for the outdoors. And I want to thank you for coming over here today and watching this video. I hope it's helped you guys out decide which one is the best mug for you. As always, check us out on all the relevant social media. That's a great way to see what is up and coming. We're always working on new videos, cranking out 2 or 3 a week. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Join the conversation. Add some comments. I try to respond as best as I can, answer any questions that you guys have. And finally, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.